Hey loves, it's Jesi. Welcome back to my channel, and I'm here today with my friend.
Eggs Daily.
And today we thought we'd I thought that we could do a video in which we talk about the lessons that we've learnt this year and share them to you so you can take them onto your 2023 and have an amazing year.
Yeah, I think 2022 has probably been the best year of my life, and I've learnt so many lessons in the year.
Yeah, so let's get started. What's the first lesson that you want to share?
I think the first lesson that I've learned quite early on was to dream big. So at the start of the year, I decided that I wanted to start TikTok. I set myself a goal to reach 10k followers. This is just like an arbitrary goal, but I still thought like it was a big goal. So 10k followers by the end of the year and I'll be happy. But within the first 30 days, I exceeded that. And now I'm on like 80 something k followers. So dream big, and like you always surprise yourself when you dream big. Like even on my vision board as well, there's so many things there that I kind of didn't really expect, but I just put them there. I set a target, and over the year I've surprised myself with how much I've been able to accomplish. So that's a big lesson that I've learned.
Are there any targets that you have set this year that you didn't achieve? Or
a lot of the times people set goals because they're other people's goals, or other people think that they should have those goals, but if it's not something you care about, you're not going to work to get it. So with money, obviously I want to be rich in the future, but I think the reason why I want to be rich is because of freedom. And at this point in my life, I had a lot of freedom, so it didn't really make sense to work hard to get money, to get freedom when I already had the end product. However, next year I'm going to think about that, and I might add that to my goals, but yeah.
It's good self-reflection. I guess the first lesson I want to share with you guys is the importance of friends. This year was the year I realized like how amazing my friends are and all of the values and things I find so important in friendships.
Thanks. Sorry.
Like your friends are almost a mirror to you. They show you almost like good friends will show you a very good representation of yourself. They can point out and highlight some of your weaknesses, and they encourage you to fix and work on them, and they highlight your good parts and make you realize how amazing and special you truly are. And I think that's very important. There's so many situations and things that I've experienced this year that my friends have really came through for me. And
do you have an example?
Yeah, like I have loads. Like for example, like my friend Simran, I was having the worst time like last term in Cambridge. My mental health was on the floor. Like it was so bad. It was exam season. I was failing. Like it was just so horrible. So I was just crying. And I spoke to Simran and I was like, yeah, like I feel like absolute dog shit. I've drank 4 bottles of wine in the past 2 days. Like it's horrible. And she was like, right, I'm coming. And she booked a ticket that night and she came to Cambridge the next day.
Was that the 9 days of crying?
Yeah.
And Jesi doesn't cry, so
yeah, I don't cry. So it was really, really bad. And she came the next day.
And Simran's busy as well, so that's really great.
Yeah, like I absolutely loved it. Or like going to Paris with Jacqueline and Janai, and just being ourselves, like having fun.
Yeah, I feel like I can truly relate. Like there's nothing like having great friends.
Yeah,
it's a joy that I want everyone to experience. Yeah.
And I also, it's like very good to identify like really shit friends. That doesn't mean they're shit people, but it can be a compatibility thing. Yeah, like you're not compatible, and that doesn't mean you don't talk to them anymore. You just readjust the position they are in your life.
I think that reminds me of the point that is, make sure you like the people your friends are. Like, make sure you like their values reflect your values, and you like who they are as a person outside of their image or outside of who their friends are or what they can do for you. Or yeah.
What's your next lesson?
I think the next lesson of the year has been to have a strong sense of deserving. So what I mean by that is that everything good that's happened to you, every piece of praise, compliment, every promotion that's happened, believe that you deserved it. So for me, like this year on my birthday, I had like the best birthday. Not like the best birthday, I had the best birthday. Like even this year on my birthday, like all of the messages I put in the effort to fully appreciate everything, every good thing that people were saying about me, and like I made a conscious decision to believe that they were true. And yeah, that just made me have the best birthday. But I feel like just in general, like all of the promotions or just fortunate things that happened to you, like really believe that you deserved it. Because I feel like success is your birthright. Well, that's how I feel anyway about myself, and that's fully transformed the way I go about my life now.
It's very good. The radio used to be so bad at accepting compliments. I'd be like, oh my god, your radio, your hair looks nice. And you'd be like, oh gosh. Or I'd be like, Janai mentioned that you looked really good in this picture. And you'd be like, oh, like, but now you've gotten a lot better, which is, I think, is a very good trait to have.
It's changed my life.
Yeah. I think my next lesson will be being truly present in moments. I think in today's world of social media, and Grace Beverly said this in her book, Working Hard, Hardly Working, which is such a good book. But announceability culture is such a big thing. And so subconsciously we take jobs or we do things with the intention of being able to announce it and receive the validation from external people. For example, you know, like you take a job or you decide to apply for an internship at this really big fancy tech company and you don't even like tech, you know, you
I think you can relate to that with the finance.
Yeah,
internship.
I used to do so many finance. I don't know how much I can say. What if I change my mind?
No,
I used to do
this is the point where I'm right now.
Yeah, at this point in my life, I used to do so many finance things because loads of people in my life were doing finance things and they were like, yeah, you just need that JP Morgan on your thing, like it's gonna look great.
A stack of people are just collecting titles that they kind of don't care about.
Yeah, and I realized like I actually don't care about anybody's money but my own. So maybe this isn't actually the right industry for me to like be pursuing. And I was mainly doing it so I can just tell people like I got here and I got here, like this is a very announceable thing. And I feel like this year when I realized that, I started really truly taking moments where I'm like, I'm probably not even gonna post this on social media. Nobody's even really gonna know that I'm doing this, right? But I want to do this for myself. Like I want to be present. And when you intentionally choose to be present, those memories like stick and last for longer. For example, when I went to Paris, I was like, I'm not gonna like be like filming on my TikTok or whatever. But I did take pictures. But my intention for the pictures was to print them out and put them in an album. And like 3 days later, after I came back from Paris, I was like going through the pictures. Like, okay, these look cute, so let me post these 3 pictures on social media. But I had hundreds of so many funny, unfiltered pictures that just...
I think that just links back to my first point, which is make sure you like the things you're doing for yourself and don't say it as a goal to do just so you can post it on social media, just to get the validation and the praise from other people when you don't actually care about what you're doing yourself.
Yeah.
And that's a good way to confirm whether you care or not.
Yeah.
Can you do it and enjoy it without posting it on social media?
And obviously a lot of people's lives are on social media, and we're not saying don't post on social media and don't, you know, like sometimes you want to go to a good place and take a good picture so you can post it online. That's fine.
On Insta and everything.
That's completely fine because that's okay. But you know, just being intentional, like maybe once a month, you know, go out with your friend and leave your phone at home. Yeah. Or when me and Simran go out, like we intentionally like put our phones to the side and we put our phones on silent. So we can really, obviously I'll take a picture of the food when the food comes and then I'll put it down and eat the food and enjoy the conversation. Yeah.
Moving on to my next point is push yourself to the edge of your comfort zone. Test your boundaries. I think it's so important to consistently do this. Like this year I've done things that I just never would have imagined that I could do, and that's because I reached my comfort zone, I reached the boundary of it, and then I just took a few more steps out. And it's so interesting to see how much you can do when you just challenge yourself. Like do something that you think you can't do and watch how you do it. Like just watch how you'll surprise yourself when you test your boundaries.
How do you make sure that you're not going too far? Like if somebody had like anxiety and you're like, okay, like to get used to socializing, go to a party, you know?
If you have like a professional problem, go to a professional.
Fair enough.
But with majority of, like, there's a reason why you want to do it, especially if it's a goal that aligns with your values. Like, you can do it. People have done it. You're not any different. Like, no one has 2 brains. No one is more superhuman than you are. So go to your comfort zone, go to the edge, and then take a few steps out. I think that's a good way.
Especially if you really want to do it. Don't let your fears and your anxieties about certain situations or how you think people would think to like stop you. But at the same time, also know like your boundaries.
I think in my situations, it's just not that dangerous to do it. It's more an internal struggle than like physical.
Like for example, let's say let's say you've been clubbing, like, and you realize like I hate going clubbing. Like, this is just not for me. I've tried like 3 or 4 times.
It needs to align with your values.
Okay.
So if no part of clubbing aligns with your values, then that's not for you.
Fair enough. That's true. My final point. Okay, this is, I kind of think of life like a TV show. Like,
yeah, I think it's good to romanticize and
to romanticize and whatnot. And I think it's very important to remember that you are the main character in your own life. All of the decisions that you make will somehow affect you in some way, whether it's emotionally, physically, second-handedly, whatever. They will affect you. Make decisions like I kind of see yourself like outside of yourself sometimes, and see like yourself as a character that you're watching.
Yeah.
And see, okay, what would I want this main character to do?
But what's the benefit?
And I think the benefit of it is that you start realizing that you can carve your own path and your own story. You know, your future isn't something that's set, right? Your future is something that your present self is currently defining, and realizing that actually I can set my future. I am the author of my own story, and I am the main character in my own story.
Yeah.
I choose what's important to me.
Yeah.
And I align those priorities in my life.
Yeah.
It's very important. But on the same vein, I think it's very good to remember you're the side character in somebody else's life. In everybody else's life, you are not the main character. You are a side character.
That relates to the spotlight.
Yeah,
spotlight effect. Sorry, which is no one's looking at you, so do whatever you want to do. Be who you want to be.
Nobody
do what you
thinks
want to
of
do.
you as much as you think they're
Of
thinking
yourself.
of you. Maybe your mom, probably not even your mom.
Nah, like if you have a stain on your t-shirt, no one else, and you go outside, no one else is like looking at the stain. Even if they look at the stain, like no one actually cares. So in that regard, you're not the main character of anybody else's life, but you are your own life. So take your decisions seriously, take your future seriously, but at the same time, don't take life too seriously.
Yeah.
Yourself.
Enjoy, because at the end of your life, you know, when you're thinking back to all of these memories, you want to be able to feel like you've done yourself justice, like you've done what you wanted to do. You've been loving and loyal and selfless, but you've also been selfish and confident in the places that need be. And I think that's a very important trait to take on in 2023 when you're planning your goals, when you're carrying out your things, when you want to go to a concert and all of your friends don't want to go, what would the main character do? Go to the fucking concert.
Yes, you need to have a story. Like you need to create the story of your life. That's what I'm saying. Good things that happen, that's content. The bad things that happen, that's also content for the story.
Yeah. Plot twists, even better, you know.
The comeback story. Everyone loves a good comeback story. So.
Yeah. What do you think is your favourite moment
of the year?
Yeah.
I've had so many. Nah, I can't. My birthday was one of the best days of my life.
His birthday was very fun.
Kiss Daniel concert was amazing. Going on holiday, Marrakesh was amazing. Yeah, that's obviously asked for one, but there's so many. Like there's so many more that I just can't even remember right now. But yeah.
I think one of my favourite moments.
Placement.
Oh
placement
yeah.
He's
a medical student, by the way.
That whole experience was just it was such a pleasant surprise. So yeah.
I think my favourite moment of the year, or the moment, like when I think back and I reflect, was when I was the musical director for a theatre show in Cambridge. And I remember at the beginning of the year I was telling you like, oh yeah, I want to do this, to push myself out my comfort zone.
Yeah.
And it was like the last day, and usually because I'm behind the stage, I don't usually get to come out and do the applause. But on the last day, they wanted everybody to come out and bow. And I remember in that moment when I bowed and I looked up at the crowd and like everybody was standing ovation, I was like, wow, like I'm part of something. Like it just felt so amazing. Like it was just, I had fun, but I pushed myself and I worked hard, and look at the result. Look at all these happy people. I felt so overwhelmed, like, and I think it was just like a defining moment. Like, look at you, keep pushing yourself, like keep doing things that you want to do that you would have questioned to do otherwise. Because look at the result, you know. Even
going boxing.
Oh, that was so fun. I was in so much pain though, and I probably looked like an idiot.
Yeah, but it's just about doing it anyway. Like just trying new things, pushing yourself, and see.
Who do you think has inspired you most
this year? Can you start, please?
I have a very surprising one.
Who?
I actually have two, actually. So one of them is our good friend. I mean, your good friend.
Who?
Valid. I think cheeky.
Do
you know why? Because
I was event too on Instagram, and I was event and everything else.
Do you know why? Because obviously I hadn't seen him for ages, but I knew you were talking to him, and I knew he was doing things. But from just like remembering what he was like in secondary school, I always he was one of those unserious candidates. Yeah. He's just an unserious guy.
If you see him now,
I was like, when I saw him now, I was like, wow, like look how much the power of being like, oh, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna change my life.
He's so inspirational, man.
It was like,
his self-belief is crazy. Like,
it's so crazy.
Second to Kanye himself.
I remember telling, like, I took a screenshot and I showed Jacqueline and Janai. Janai said, that's no way. There's no way. So, like, I think that's it. And another person that's really inspired me, my little cousin, Angel.
Oh.
I know this sounds so cringy, but obviously, like, she's 8 now, so she's considerably younger than me. But she has, like, this weird, like, tenacity for life. And I don't know if it's because she's young.
What do you mean? Can you give some examples?
She just has, like, she's so unafraid of saying what she thinks and how she feels. We'll put a book in front of her. She said, I'm not reading that.
I think that's me.
She's like, I'm not reading that. Her mum will shout at her. Her dad will threaten to slap her. And she'll be like, I'm not reading it. I'm so sorry.
No.
Like, it's just the fact that she's
I love that for her, man.
She's so confident and she's so eloquent for an 8-year-old to express how she feels. Like, she's like, you're really annoying me right now because you're doing this. Or she'll
love that.
Or she'll do really certain things. Like, for example, I feel really unconfident about how I look that day.
Yeah.
And I'll be like, yeah, I look so horrible today. She said, don't say that to yourself. You're the most beautiful person
Wow.
ever. Do you see little things like that? And I was like, you're actually 8.
No, that brings me on to my point. So I think my biggest inspiration is probably my mum. I know this is so cliche, but I think this year, like, she's... I'm joking. But she's obviously one of my favourite people, whatever. But I think the biggest thing she's probably the most hardworking person I know. But I think the most inspirational thing she's done is her ability to learn. Like, as an African parent, a lot of them are set in their ways, but... Sorry, when... Do you get it? But, yeah, like, so when I correct her, she's so willing to learn, so willing to correct what she's always known just to show and to care for me better. And I think that's a big thing for an African parent to do. And I just love how she's always affirmative with her love and her... She's just ramped up the game this year. Well, it feels like she has this year. Like, every way from acts of service to the affirmations to everything else. So yeah, it's just inspired me.
That's so beautiful. Okay, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Make sure you follow Aurelia on all social media.
It's gonna be right.
Whatever.
Somewhere.
And yeah, I have one more video left to
Of the
upload
year.
this year. And then
Have a happy new year.
have a Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. Let us know what was your favourite lesson and what lessons you learned.
Comment down below
22.
what lessons you've learned this year, because 2023 is about to be the best year yet.
Woo! Bye, guys.
Woo! It's alright.
Imagine if it's turned off.
Imagine.
When you're not here, the sun don't shine. When you're not near, I don't feel like I do when you're